and the movement for a new Venezuela.
Oh wow, I gotta turn this around.
The MRV
This happens every time.
won a landslide presidential election. And in the aftermath of that, held a constituent assembly and modified the Venezuelan constitution to establish what we now know as the Bolivarian Republic of Venezuela. That is the flag right there. Woo! All right. Almost immediately after Viva Venezuela. All right. The Bolivarian Republic and the Bolivarian government immediately went in to launch large-scale social programs to address some of the massive poverty and colonial relations that had existed in the aftermath of many decades and centuries of imperialism and colonization. This led in 2002 to a U.S.-backed attempt at a coup, wherein members of the Venezuelan military kidnapped Hugo Chavez and then various key members of the Venezuelan Bolivarian parliament, and only because of massive street protests by the Venezuelan people were they able to was Chavez released and reestablished into power. Woo! Woo! All right. Now, over the past decade and a half, Venezuela has lived under constant economic war by the United States and its allies in the imperial core. This includes cooperation with the Venezuelan elite, many of whom participated and aided in the 2002 coup attempt via various means of subverting the massive social programs that the Bolivarian government has implemented. To give some context for these social programs, Venezuela spends almost 75% of its annual budget on these various programs to address poverty, hunger, homelessness, and other social woes. In comparison, the United States military budget alone takes up 60% of our annual spending. The Bolivarian government has only expanded its social programs, even while the United States and Venezuelan capitalists use illegal and immoral economic means to launch a financial war on the Venezuelan people, creating artificial scarcities of necessities and commodities to attempt to starve the people of Venezuela, or by foreign banks illegally withholding the Venezuelan government's own funds and gold, which were meant to be used for the purchase of life-saving medicines such as insulin and the funding of other social programs. All of these programs, which have served to vastly improve the quality of life of the poorest and most historically oppressed people of Venezuela, especially Afro-Venezuelans and indigenous communities, would swiftly be overturned if this U.S.-backed coup is successful. The 2.5 million homes which the Bolivarian government has built and given to the poor and working-class Venezuelans would swiftly be privatized and used to profit off of the Venezuelan people as opposed to serve their needs. The vast oil and other natural resource wealth, which is at this moment used to serve the people's needs, would be instantly transformed to make vast amounts of profits for the Venezuelan elite and the wealthy politicians backing this attempted coup. These social programs do not just extend within their own borders. Venezuela, in the aftermath of Hurricane Katrina, offered millions in food, water, fuel, and other humanitarian aid to assist with hurricane relief efforts. Later, in the aftermath of Hurricane Harvey in Texas, another $5 million worth of hurricane relief aid was offered. Both times the United States government refused to the cost and detriment of people in our communities. Oil companies owned by the Bolivarian government donated enough heating oil to help 400,000 Americans when the Obama White House cut energy program funding that was used to help heat poor people's homes. They also offered aid that was used to help 250 homeless shelters here in the United States. Our politicians claim to stand in support of democracy abroad, but then support these undemocratic coups, and here in our own country, what little power working class people have is under attack. For our own example, the president of our country, who has claimed to support democracy while backing this coup, is only in power because of a slavery-era system wherein he could lose by 3 million votes and still be considered the rightful claim to the office of presidency.
I don't like that.
That's fucked up.
Fuck that.
God damn.
Okay. And then the U.S.-backed opposition party in Venezuela claims that these elections were undemocratic and they were used to stifle the opposition parties. When they themselves, the opposition, were the ones who demanded that the UN not send international observers to these most recent elections. And when
They support us.
Turn it down.
Yeah.
Viva Venezuela! Woo! All right. Former President Jimmy Carter himself has repeatedly called Venezuela one of the most free and fair democracies in the world. Meanwhile, the opposition trying to claim power through this U.S.-backed coup actively requested the UN not send observers to the latest election. The Venezuelan opposition is not starved for democracy. They have repeatedly been approached in attempts to peacefully reconcile their differences with the Bolivarian government, but they have actively refused. This opposition has repeatedly lynched poor Afro-Venezuelans they accuse of supporting the government, burning them alive in the streets of Caracas. An opposition supporter at one point even hijacked a police helicopter and used it to launch an armed attack on the Venezuelan Supreme Court, including the use of bullets and grenades. They claim that Venezuelans are starving and blame it on the socialist government, yet it is the opposition which has repeatedly broken into warehouses and burned literal tons of food meant for distribution to the Venezuelan people. These are the peaceful, pro-democracy opposition that the U.S. and the newly elected fascist head of state in Brazil are openly supporting. We have seen throughout Latin America, from the overthrow of Jacobo Arbenz in Guatemala to the overthrow of Salvador Allende in Chile, that the United States has no interest in benefiting the working people of any Latin American country. And the only time they tamper in foreign countries is when it serves their material interest, when it makes our capitalists and the capitalists of Latin America filthy goddamn rich. It is our job as progressives, socialists, or whatever political banners we wave to stand in solidarity with the Venezuelan people and stand in solidarity with the United Socialist Party of Venezuela, with whom they have democratically elected as their representatives, their leaders, their government, and their guidance in this struggle against American imperialism. It is our job to stand strong with the Bolivarian Revolution and proclaim loudly, Maduro, sí. Yankee, no. Maduro,
sí.
Yankee,
No.
Maduro,
Sí.
Yankee,
No.
Maduro,
Sí.
Yankee,
No.
Maduro,
Sí.
Yankee,
No. Maduro. Sí. Yankee. No. Maduro. Sí. Yankee. No. Maduro. Sí.
Yankee,
No.
Maduro,
Sí.
Yankee,
No.
Yankee, go home.
Yeah.
Woo!
What y'all say? Want to make that chant?
Sure.
Okay.
Whoa.
Every time.
Yeah.
Yankee, go home.
I just wanted to make a quick video letting people get that little history scoop from a member of PSL. I'm not personally affiliated with PSL, but I support this sign and I support these chants and I support the general message. I don't know if Maduro is like all that good or not, and I'm still doing my research, but I know for sure I don't support U.S. coups and Latin America in general. We need to stop doing that.
I will pass on the mic
Peace.
to my own chagrin.